Station, where our veterans' voices are heard. MBR Talk.
Hey, thanks for supporting our channel by watching and listening.
Find us on the web at mbradio.us.
Think of all that time. Every wait in the winter. All those hours no one else saw. Every sprint in the summer. Every sacrifice. Early mornings on the levee. Late nights in the film room. Bus rides to playoff games. Every bump in the road. Every moment of ecstasy. Every moment of doubt. Years wondering, is it all worth it? It's all led to this. Man, I got this. It's a 60-minute drive for a 60-minute game. After all the miles we've traveled, we're almost there. After all the hours we've worked, one more can make us legends. After all that time, this is our time. Caveman on the line. HG got the stats.
No filters, no suits, just facts on blast.
He seems like no nonsense guy. Like
re-emphasize that for the Saints fans out there on TikTok. Caveman. What did you just say?
The rebuild starts right now. Marshawn Lattimore's gone, so the defense, like, we're not getting any better.
We break it all down like overtime.
Looking to get it into space. What a pass! Touchdown! Dorian Smith with the game winner! Oh my goodness!
And that is why you have Aaron Fry pass the ball.
To the backfield floor. No filters, no fake control. We run the plays, we own the soul.
Real year. Like you have you have the best quarterback in the league, arguably, the best wide receiver in the league, and you've got the best edge rusher in terms of total sacks this season. And you're 4-7, and your playoff chances are hanging on by it.
Reading the field like a poet in rhyme.
Let's make it interesting.
We're making it interesting.
Breaking down ball like a heat-wave blade. 2 minds, 1 vibe on the same frequency.
Oh, let's go! Put him in there.
This knocked
Put him in there.
We see through the hype, call out the thief. This ain't a game, this is
Watch every game the rest of the season in the NBA.
So don't you go stand in your nose to see that. You're such a hater.
The station where our veterans' voices are heard. MBR Talk.
Hey, thanks for tuning in. Welcome, Quack.
Program are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of any entities they represent.
Find us on the web at mbradio.us.
For your
You are looking live at Till the Final Whistle, everybody. HG and Caveman back in the building. And this is March, everyone. It's the finale today. Had our men's national championship last night. Michigan Wolverines take the crown on the men's side, and UCLA absolutely dominated South Carolina in the national championship game on Sunday. So they are the women's. Man, that was their first one on the women's side, and the first one since like the 90s for Michigan after making it to the title 4 times since they won and losing every single time. So
And they
after
also
breaking a four-time losing streak.
handed Dan Hurley his first Final Four or national championship loss. He was 5-0 in those games prior to that. And then you had UConn also getting its first ever loss in a national championship game. They were 6-0
Dang.
prior to that. Yeah.
I didn't even know that. Holy crap.
Yeah. So Huskies usually when they got to the national championship, they would just
They
win
won it. That's
But,
like I think Dan Hurley got 2 or 3, right?
You got 2, yeah.
2 of them.
Went back to back in 23 and 24. Let's jump into some of these matchups. Let's go women's side to the Final Four. Do we start with UCLA and Texas or UConn and South Carolina? There was some drama in this UConn South Carolina game for sure.
I think we got to start there because there's bad blood in that game from last year's national championship, and those two coaches were battling it out. Gino was just mad that they weren't getting any calls. Like Sarah Strong had to change jerseys. So number 24 got ripped. She was out in number 55. I think it was in like most of the second half. She had a whole new jersey on. She got ripped. And it was a physical game in this one. You know, I mean, that's kind of what South Carolina's mentality was that going into it, just be as physical as possible and really just kind of shock UConn going undefeated all year.
Yeah. Was a very defensive weekend too. I think that was I don't know if UConn had really been able to see that level of like physicality, just defensive pressure all year. They definitely looked uncomfortable. It was like something that I don't think they were that they had really gotten a ton of experience running into this year. I will say, I mean, that was maybe my one concern with UConn is that they hadn't had the most difficult schedule.
Yeah.
And yeah, they kind of end up showing in the final. And this one, they started out pretty strong. It was a 15-15 tie after one, but the second half, especially, getting outscored 38 to 22 is not good in the second half. And yeah, they just looked like they were a lot more sluggish and out of sorts in the second half. So I think that it sort of got to them.
That press really started to work for South Carolina, and when UConn wasn't able to really get set and like allow Sarah Strong to get to work in the post, because they really did. I didn't really think they had too much size to really match up. But that's kind of why South Carolina got beat by UCLA. They didn't really have anyone for the big girls. Like Joyce Edwards is a good defender down low, but just not nearly as tall and as big as Sarah Strong or Lauren Betts. They did a good job against UConn though, and completely limiting that offense.
Yeah, Azzy looked really out of sorts in this game as well. Like she just was having a tough time. And I feel like she's no longer the favorite for the number 1 pick in the WNBA draft now. I mean, she's still like going to be a great 3-point shooter, but this was definitely a kind of a down tournament for her. Besides her one game where she dropped 34, but again, like that wasn't the same level of competition as this, but
She did have a really elite regular season though,
yeah,
and like there's still a lot of upside to her in the professional game.
I mean, you just can't like teach like to have a release as fast as hers. Like,
Yeah.
it's lightning quick. I mean,
You might not be the number one overall pick, but still
Yeah.
major upside in the WNBA.
This was again. I can see though, like why Gino was a little upset. The free throw disparity was
They only shot 6.
it's kind of bad. for
Dang,
UConn. Yeah, they
6
only
to
had 6.
27.
Especially when they were getting like you said, like Sarah had to change her jersey. I mean, yeah, they were every time they tried to drive to the
Dawn made it
hoop.
gritty, man.
Yeah, they were putting bodies on bodies there. But yeah, I like and the rebounding differential really. I was surprised there that South Carolina
They won.
it as big as they did because I think like UConn's got good size all around, but yeah, I don't think like their offense was where they weren't running good sets and their plays were out of sorts. So it just looked like, people were out of position that was making it hard to box out, get a rebound there.
They just caused so many miscues on the defensive end. It kind of sucks for our women's bracket. We did pick UConn to complete the undefeated season like South Carolina did a couple of years ago, but that was a different team there, that South Carolina team. There's a lot of WNBA players in that lineup.
That was Camila Cardoza's final year, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was her senior year.
Yeah, that was a really good team. Thought this UConn team might be able to do it. They'll no doubt be back in a similar position with some returning players as well. And we'll see. Like South Carolina is going to be losing some of their seniors. Raven, Medina Acott are both going to be drafted in the first round, most likely. Tessa, is she a senior or she might be a junior?
Junior.
She's a junior. So there's a chance Tessa's probably back to get another shot at it. Yeah. You want to also talk about another gritty physical game. That was where UCLA and Texas got into a super low scoring game here as well. 51-44.
All defense in this one.
All defense until the fourth, and then each team sort of came alive and scored a little bit more, but each team had a quarter where they only scored 6 points.
It's a real fun thing about these tournaments is like these real Final Four games are awesome. Coming down the stretch, every team just starts playing really free, and that's when the game starts to look amazing.
Texas, man, they were just, it kind of felt like they were chucking stuff at the rim, especially Madison Booker. Like, she just could not get going. That's just the testament to how good Lauren Betts is defensively, though, because they kept throwing bets at her, and like Booker's not the greatest jump shooter, so obviously she wants to try to score in the post, and that is just like Lauren Betts sets up the no-fly zone there. 3 of 23.
Oh man,
in this one, yeah.
Yeah, they couldn't find any rhythm for her. Holy
Long
crap.
ones were 31% from the field.
Man.
Yeah.
And they barely even got to the line too. This one, there wasn't really too much controversy on bad calls. This was just a good defensive game between these two teams. So testament to UCLA.
Bruins were a lot more efficient. They took like way less shots, 21 less shots. They only had 2 less makes. They were 18 of 44. Texas was 20 of 65. So it was a lot more a lot more efficient. They got to the line more. But the thing that was keeping the Longhorns in this game is that the Bruins just kept turning the ball over. They had 23 turnovers in this game. It was real sloppy at points. And then, you had like Charlize Leaguer Walker was having a really quiet game. They didn't really go too deep into their bench, but Lauren was just rock solid from the field, 7 to 10. Another double for her, 16 and 11, 3 blocked shots in this one. Yana Neepkins and Gabriel Jaquez both dropping 10. Kiki Rice gave 11. So they were just, their big four were really steady in this one.
Just found the open shots.
Yeah.
They knew what this game was going to be.
Like when they came to shot selection, they were a lot, and just their offense overall, they were just a lot better. Making a lot better decisions doing that. But what let the Longhorns hang around for as long as they did was the turnovers and the offensive rebounds. Like Texas grabbed a lot of their own misses. But eventually they were able to, they really got it going, especially in the fourth quarter, scoring 20 points there and pulled away to hang on for this 7-point victory. And then that takes us to the national championship.
And wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Like
a little shocked, a little disappointed that it was as big of a blowout as it was.
There is a lot of veterans and there is a lot of tournament experience on UCLA and South Carolina. But I think a good majority of them on South Carolina right now are a lot of those underclassmen that for the last few seasons, while they were making some pretty solid tournament runs, they hadn't had as big of roles. And when in certain games, South Carolina definitely did look like best team in this, but man, UCLA, yes, they gave it. There was some type of chip on their shoulder.
I think
a mountain.
What we saw, because they didn't shoot the three very well against Texas, but when they can shoot, when they're shooting their threes at a fairly high clip, it's hard for them to keep that. I mean, they were only 8 of 19, but 42%. And then like South Carolina, just as they're starting to get further and further behind, they couldn't make it. They just aren't as good shooting the three, and that was, they took probably more than they wanted to. Only 2 of 15. They were only 13%. Yeah, the lead just kept growing and growing, and you could just see the desperation and the shot attempts, and one of those games where it just started to get away, and it snowballed and just rolled out of control.
It was an avalanche effect almost. It's not even like UCLA was playing perfect defense. It's just their offense was red hot and got rolling, and you weren't able to really match the firepower that they had. They couldn't make it nearly as many of the tough shots that UCLA was making as well. It was those possessions where they did have to grind out late in the shot clock, and they still ended up getting points out of it or getting to the free throw line. South Carolina just wasn't giving themselves as many opportunities as they really could have. It could have been a very, very close game in this one. But very well coached UCLA team. Got to give credit to her as well, because this season that they put up was pretty good. Won the regular season championship in the Big Ten 3 games before the season was over.
And then demolished Iowa in the Big Ten championship, and ended up winning the national national championship as well, as they kind of steamrolled their way through.
Dominant fashion.
Yeah. Betts was named the most outstanding player of the tournament, and I think rightfully so. She was really good in this game again. Only 14 points, but the 11 rebounds, 2 blocked shots, and just her defensive impact around the rim just can't be overstated. Gabriela Jaquez was fantastic in this one, going 21, 10, and 5. Double for her
That's
as well.
That's Jaime's little sister.
Yeah,
I didn't even know that until after the game. About it, the Jaquez family, man, just making their name in pro basketball, because she's probably going to get drafted too.
Yeah, there's a good shot that I think Gabrielle might have. She might be a junior, so she may come back for one more year. No, she is a senior. Okay.
13, 5, and 2. 52%. Dang.
Yeah.
Her season.
And she's not even like the best shooter on that team. There's a good chance that UCLA sees all 5 of their starters get drafted here. I mean, Betts is going to be a top 10 pick.
She projected it. She was top 4 projected in the Final Four game.
I think there's a good chance that Yana Nepkins is also top 10 pick. I mean, like, you just can't match her shoot. Like, her shooting splits were some of the best in the country, so you just can't pass up on production like that. Kiki Rice will. Well, you say the top 10 pick. There's only 15 teams, so I guess that's not new as crazy as like a 30-team league, but still, you are top 10. Kiki Rice is going to probably be a first rounder. Same with Charlize Leaguer Walker. And then like Jaquez could even be a first round pick or like a day 2 pick. So there's going to be UCLA might be losing their entire starting 5.
That's crazy.
Get your championship in now. But it was a pretty dominant run.
Yeah, this was definitely their window
for them here. We want to just take a look back at what they did. Cal Baptist in the first round, 96-43. Oklahoma State round 2, 87-68. They take them down. Beat the 4 seed Minnesota Golden Gophers, 80-56. Then they beat number 3 seed Duke. They had to come from behind in this one and ended up winning that game.
That was a nice comeback.
70-58. And the 7-point win over Texas in the Final Four, and a blowout victory, 79-51 over South Carolina in the championship.
It does suck. They'll see how good a recruiting they are, because they're probably going to have to get a whole new team over there.
Pulling up the tournament challenge. Only have the 5 entries in the women's one, but that's partially my fault because I messed up and didn't let people make multiple. I set the setting wrong, and then they don't let you edit it. But the bracket I made, despite having UConn, did score the most points.
109.
109. The community bracket that we made ended up in second. Caveman had the 3rd place bracket. And then you had Biorinic 87 and Brody at 81 in 5th place. That's my brother. He went the homer pick and just said see you all the way. Look at this Final Four matchup. It's Colorado State. This guy. But why don't we pull up on the community one that we made?
Colorado. You got UCLA and Texas, right? You had pretty much normal picks on this whole other region.
It's just a homer through and through.
I like it.
But see how we did on this one here. So first we started in the Fort Worth region. I mean, obviously
good picks there. Got a nice upset with Syracuse.
Yeah. And then we were off with Maryland going to the Sweet 16. Just missed on that one. North Carolina, we got those two right. And it looks like we got the round of 32 down.
We got the we had Colorado beating Illinois. Dang. And we also had Ohio State moving on.
Oh, that's right.
That
was a crazy run that the Irish went on. I mean, they went all the way to the Elite Eight. They took down Ohio State and Vandy.
Good run from that 6th seed right there. Definitely, they're in a pretty stacked region. Where if they were in another side of this bracket, they probably would have been a higher seeding.
That was a tough one.
Sacramento looks like got good picks there all the way out to the Sweet 16. Oh yeah.
All the way.
We had South Dakota State.
That was our upset. There weren't like a ton of upsets really in the women's bracket.
It's like 8-9 matchups are really all we had.
So Virginia, we got
that though.
They were probably the best little closest thing to a Cinderella run. Kamira Johnson was cooking.
Let me show you.
Use the arrow key to get over here.
Okay, there we go. Fort Worth 3, Texas and Oregon moving on. We had Kentucky though making a run. You wanted
Virginia, I think it was.
Oh yeah, West Virginia. Kentucky ended up beating them by 1, and then just getting blanked by Texas.
West Virginia to the Final Four.
Yep, we had West Virginia beating Texas and Michigan. Oh no, we picked Michigan on that.
Yeah. So we got our Final Four. We were 3 for 4. That's pretty good.
That's pretty good.
Can't ask for more than that. And then I think
we had picked Rhode Island to move out.
We wanted we were having a Cinderella. We were wrong in that sense.
And we got this area. We just broke down UCLA's run. Got all those picks right. We did have Princeton taking out Oklahoma State though.
Yeah, this was probably I feel like our worst region because we also had Ole Miss going on.
Miss.
That wasn't right.
We had LSU moving on.
That's true.
And played UCLA.
Looks like we also had Villanova pulling off the upset on Texas Tech. So that was the one where we got the most wrong.
This bracket could have been a clear winner if we got this one a little better. If we didn't go with this Cinderella run from Rhode Island, we probably would have dominated everybody in this.
But hey, you gotta have some fun with it, you know. Let's the recap on that one. I'll have to go take a look at what I put on my bracket. But I did want to, now that the college basketball season is over, what's going to be upon us pretty soon is the WNBA draft and then season. So I got a little mock draft here that came out.
I want to see how these rankings changed
right after the national championship ended, or a few hours afterwards on Sunday. This is written by Jack Maloney of CBS Sports. So we're going to go ahead and we'll go through it and give you guys a little look ahead at what the potential mock draft could look at. And actually, the first player going is a foreign player, Alwa Pham from Spain, because the Wings do have the number 1 overall pick. They would be drafting a center. She's a center from Spain, which makes a lot of sense because you've got Paige Beckers and Erika Gumbawale in your backcourt down there in Dallas.
Got to get it big.
They desperately need some good center play, especially when you have such a skilled pick and roll player like Paige Beckers.
It'll only make your team that much better.
I missed this, but apparently she had a really great showing against Team USA during the FIBA World Cup qualifying tournaments that were down Puerto Rico last month.
Okay.
So kind of proved on a pretty big stage that she can hold her own against top level WNBA competition. And then like Wings need some size and a pick and roll partner for Paige Becker. So that would
Yes,
be
they do.
the move there. And then number 2 is actually the Lynx holding that pick with Olivia Miles projected to go to them as a playmaking prospect, which could be really good for them just in terms of they've got some great talent in their front court. Obviously, Nafisa Collier, is borderline. It's debatable between her, Asia, who's the best player in the league right now. But I do think they could use some more playmaking in their front court, and she's a pretty good defensive player as well. So that does make a lot of sense for them there. It's a really good defensive team as well. And like the Lynx haven't really had like a true point guard.
This is going to get them a pretty good bucket too, because they got Deshaun Carrington, who's kind of their scorer now. But this is really going to help them out. And there, Kayla McBride is getting a little bit older and towards the back end of her career. So,
and she's always been more of a 3-and-D type of guard.
You're going to really develop her game here.
Yeah.
I mean, she really could be number one option on this team.
I do really think you look at like if you're a team that wants like a true point guard, if you're looking for like the best prospect to run an offense and truly play the point guard position, that is definitely Olivia Miles. In this draft, like she can score, she can facilitate, and like I mean, as a rookie, there'll probably be some mistakes, but like you can feel like in like 2-3 years time, like she'll just be a really confident like guard and like one of the best to be able to run the point. So
her game out of most in the tournament, definitely playmaking wise and just like finding her shot creation. She's definitely one of the more polished in this class.
All right.
Storm, right?
The Storm. They have the number 3 pick, and this is where Azzy Fudd's now projected to go.
Okay.
Rough showing for her in the Final Four. And like I said, besides the 134-point game that she had, which that was against Syracuse, I believe. I'm going to actually double check that. Yeah, that was. So Syracuse, like, it was really one strong game, and then the rest of the tournament, you were like really underwhelmed. But she's gonna fall probably a little bit. But I mean, like we said, that 3-point shooting ability is just unmatched. I don't think there's a better
Lauren Betts.
I don't think there's a better shooting prospect here. Potentially,
Just looking at their roster, they got Skylar Diggins-Smith. They just don't really have like a center. They got Nneka Agwemike, who's pretty much like their big. Brittany Sykes. They don't really have too much size on this team. They might actually pull one and pick a center right here.
They might, but I think the problem, Seattle doesn't really have anybody that can help them space the floor. And Lauren Betts is not like a shooting. She's going to be the reason I think she's probably going to drop further is there are questions about how her offensive game translates to the league because she is. I mean, like that's how she does a lot of her scoring is just posting up and like being bigger and able, moving people out of the way and scoring like that. She's not like she has to do like a lot of her scoring right around under the basket. I don't know if that's like what the Storm need for their offense. Like her defense,
they kind of just need anything. Just looking at the roster overall, their best player is 35-year-old Skylar Diggins-Smith, and then their guard is an international player, Dominique Malunga. That's 20 years old. and I haven't seen her really out there for her. And no pick is a bad one here. Honestly, I don't know how they didn't get the number 1 overall pick.
They weren't too bad last year. I think they made the playoffs, didn't they?
Yeah. With less teams though, without Portland
Yeah, that's
in
true.
there.
And you've got there's Toronto, Portland, and year 2 of the Golden State Valkyries.
Yeah, the Toronto Tempo are in here now.
The next Lauren Betts is projected, at least in this mock draft, to go next to the Washington Mystics. Like, she is just by far the best defensive prospect in this draft. Her size and rim protection ability is unmatched. And I would say, like, she really this season showed a big improvement, like with her defensive mobility. You know, like if you get her out in space, she isn't just like too slow and uncoordinated to keep up with smaller, quicker players. Like she can move her feet a lot better, is what I'm saying.
I think this would be a really good fit overall. Could move the needle a lot for the Washington Mystics. Look at their team. Georgia Moore from Kentucky. They got Sonia Shitron, Shakira Austin. This team is so young and full of potential. Kiki Arafin's there. Jade Melbourne, the Australian international player. Like only one player on this team that's over the age of 30.
And
2, Stephanie Dawson and Alicia Clark.
This is also another team that is lacking some size. So, like, I think just her defensive abilities and her rebounding potential is really it would be a great fit for the Mystics for sure.
This is like the Spurs of the WNBA right here. They're about to go and get their Lauren Betts is their Wemby.
Yeah.
To be that next young team, up and comers in the WNBA.
And then next is her teammate, actually, Kiki Rice, projected to go
to the Sky,
to the Chicago Sky.
They just traded away Angel Reese, so the Sky got some draft capital in this one. They got rid of their all-star WNBA all-star forward, moving on from the days there. But this is a pretty solid team here. I mean, you're getting a good shooting threat here. You got a great playmaker, Haley Van Lith, Courtney Vandersloot are still there. Camila Cardoso probably going to be getting more minutes now. She goes into her third year.
I think the Sky really need somebody who can be.
They need that shooter,
a prospect for like the point guard of the future.
Yeah,
and you look like Kiki is like her strong thing is like she's an excellent perimeter defender and a really good rebounder for her position. Like you said, turned into just a great catch and shoot 3-point threat, and a steady facilitator. Like she's kind of hot and cold in this tournament, but I think there's a lot. Like she just does a lot of things well and like very coachable and just has a lot of upside as a prospect.
This next team is pretty cool. Because looking at their roster is kind of showing that they're opening up the door more for the international market in the WNBA now with these other teams, because with a smaller league, you just can't really do an expansion type draft, whereas some players go to some teams like you're going to run out of players. So it's opening the door for the international WNBA players to come in and get in the pro scene over here. So that's pretty dope.
They went for the Toronto Tempo. That's the new team. They went for a more experienced roster. You've definitely got some.
They got vets.
Yeah, they got some players that have been around playing basketball at the high level for a number of years now, and that's why they're projected actually to go get Raven Johnson. She's 23 years old. She's played 3 consecutive national title games, so it would just be somebody who's been in big moments, has a lot of experience and play time, and is an elite perimeter defender who could contribute right away with her defense. solid playmaker, and they are a little bit thin at point guard. So it just give them some depth at that position.
Yeah,
The
I
next-
think her and Lexi held.
We've got the
They're
other
pretty
new
good.
team, the Portland
duo.
Fire. And this is where we have another foreign player. This would be a forward from France, Nel Angelomba. Yeah, Portland kind of took the opposite approach. They just went for
They're young.
youth and projects. I don't know if
Nobody
they're
under
looking to be
30.
competing right away, but I think they want to develop and build this team. And so, this is a 19-year-old wing that could really that has is a little rough around the edges, but you've got some time to develop her. But she's really big, physical, athletic, and she excels in transition according to the scouting report. Loves to get downhill, so would be. I will apologize. I'm not very familiar with a lot.
You don't hear about any of these international women's basketball players at all, except for that really tall lady from China. That's the only one that's really getting any media coverage. It's pretty hard to find who the top prospects are for international for the WNBA. Like, they're not getting as much. No, these girls might have been playing pro as long as Luca has, but they aren't getting as much press.
But it's changing more and more every day.
Yeah, it's getting newer and newer.
Now
and
we
it's
have the
getting better.
Golden State Valkyries, and they are going to take the third UCLA player projected, at least. That's going to be Yana Nepkins. Like we said, she just is an elite shooter, a 40, 50, 90 season, which is, that's a vaunted club to be in. And it's really hard to have those shooting splits over the course of a season. And the Valkyries, I think, are somebody who are just desperately lacking in three-point shooting.
They got good playmaking.
Just shooting in general, they were kind of.
Yeah. They actually got good size. A lot of people above 6 foot. These 6'5" girls, they got good size, decent playmaking out there.
Yeah.
Just this is gonna move the needle. Her and Kate Martin out there,
like, here's
on the
thing,
perimeter
too, like,
shooting is gonna be awesome.
She would just fit really well into the type of offense the Valkyries want to run. They're like the Warriors. They
Inside
love
out. Yeah, they
love
shoot.
shooting the threes. They set a WNBA record for 3-point attempts, but they were 11th in 3-point percentage. So they were taking a lot of threes. They just weren't
Missing a lot.
They were missing a lot. So
they got percentage-wise one of the best shooters in the country for college right now. So
I mean, like, yeah, Yana
gotta add.
Yana could do something like similar to what Steph did his early years in Golden State, just with like the 3-point barrage that could be possible there. Then we have the Mystics, which was their second first-round pick.
They really could be the next young team up.
Yeah, this is that they'd be taking Felicia Johnson here from LSU.
There's a
good shot that she also doesn't fall this far, but
she could go earlier.
She did just have an underwhelming senior season compared to some of her past ones. Definitely struggled in their final game against Duke.
We'll develop a good playmaker for him, I think.
But yeah, she's still on the board here, no brainer. Should give a little scoring punch on the perimeter for them.
And I think it's really going to be, they're going to let her be the ball handler of this team.
Yeah.
And if they go and get Lauren Betts, that's going to be one hell of a duo right there. Kickouts to Sonia Citron for 3, or Kiki Arifin for the wing shooting ability. Like, this team is going to be nasty.
Also, if you just need somebody, like, when you have like a player like Betts who can really, if she can get like anchored down in the paint, you have
that's all day.
Yeah,
that's goalie ball.
You got somebody like Felicia who's great at creating her own shots, so you can run. I mean, you've got like she can hit these jump shots. You've got Betts right there for the rebound, or She can do a little work and then kick it into bets in the paint. Like there's just a lot of gravity that those two can create together. I really like the Mystics are in great situation there too. Like I don't think their roster was that bad to begin with, but then with what they're
they got 3 first because they also pick 11th.
yeah.
They literally pick after the next one. They barely even have to wait to get another first round talent.
Be in a good spot. Well, now
they gotta pick. They gotta pick Flage though.
Yeah. The Fever will be at pick 10. They're projected to go and take Tania Lotson, guard from South Carolina. She was really great before she transferred to South Carolina, but her numbers definitely dropped. But I just think that's because she went from, she wasn't the number one option every game. But she still has an incredible ability to get downhill. One of the best prospects at finishing around the rim, even though she's like undersized. And she's really good in transition. And I think the big thing though that with her though going to South Carolina, Dawn Staley really got her to improve as a defender. So she'd be more of like a spark plug player for the Fever off the bench. Obviously, I mean you've got Caitlin there still.
There's just a million players on this team. Yeah, they're the only team that has this many players. So she might get lost in the dog pound, but if she has a good off season with this team, she might even be in the starting lineup because
I know like the Fever I think are really they're close to being I mean I think they probably are actually just championship contenders.
I mean, a fully healthy team is pretty much a championship contending team.
Back was that Caitlin was injured a lot there, but like
they're pretty much a championship contender if they've got a fully healthy roster.
And then this would just be another player like off the bench that could provide some great minutes for him. But the Mystics, with their third first round pick, are projected to take Anya Martin, a guard from Spain.
Why the hell not? You got 3 of them.
Yeah, it gives them a little flexibility to take a shot on an international prospect who looked really good. Again, as we're saying, was looking really good at the FIBA World Cup qualifying tournament last month.
She a shooter? What's her play style?
So
she's a guard.
So she has a slight frame, but she is an awesome passer.
Okay.
With a flair for the dramatic and a pesky perimeter defender. More of a draft and stash candidate. But like when you're Washington, you have just an abundance of young talent. So like that's not an issue for you there. So
makes for some competition on who's going to be that number 1 point guard.
This is kind of like a I don't know if luxury picks is the right word, but it's just like we've kind of got like an opportunity to take a project, somebody who maybe isn't necessarily ready to go right now, but if you give us some time,
first round talent,
give us some time to develop them the right way, it could be just an absolutely great player and just a really impactful player for your team.
Who's up next? The Sun?
The Sun, and they are projected to take Gabriela Hawkins. So that would be the 5th. Did we get all 5 yet?
That's either 4 or 5.
Let's see. We got
the last one was Neekins
and Rice. So this is 4. And that's Hawkins. Like she was her reliable self all tournament long, and honestly the best player for the Bruins with 21 points in the title game. They're saying she doesn't have the highest ceiling, but she's a very versatile wing. And I mean, she will probably just kind of do what like her brother does with Miami. She's just a plug and play option in the pro. You see like she's just got like a relentless motor and like a player that has a willingness to do dirty work, hustle plays that stand out, that type of thing. And just like it's you're gonna get reliability, effort from her. So they're
a pretty solid team already. I think they've got They got some good talent over the years. That this is definitely going to be a nice fit for him.
Then we've got the Atlanta Dream, and they're taking the third South Carolina player. This is Medina Okot, the center from South Carolina.
There we go. Nice little duo. Now that you got Reese, Tahina Pow reunite with the teammate.
And they got
right there
as well.
Okay, they're gonna be a pretty big team. They had like literally only 2 people that are 5 feet tall.
Yeah,
on this team.
I love the front court. Alicia Gray and Jordan Canada. That's going to be really good. Yeah, so she'll probably be like a bench center for him to start, but
she might even just take Angel Reese's spot at some point.
Yeah, her thing is just like
Jones.
Her inexperience. She's only been playing basketball since 2020.
I don't even know if Angel Reese is going to start.
Her lack of high level experience is obvious at times, but the potential is through the roof, especially on the defensive end. She started knocking down some threes late in the season, so and like right now, like she doesn't need to start for them, but like the Dream could use some depth behind their starters, so that's just like what they would be a good spot for them to go. And then, yep, here we go. As like we were saying, the Storm are going to go ahead and take the final of the UCLA starting 5, and Charlize Leager Walker is projected to go to them. Probably one of the older prospects in this draft. She's going to be turning 25 later this year, so obviously there's a little lack in upside there, but the experience and decision making is you can't really match that. Not much of a scoring threat as we kind of saw in the tournament, but she's really good at just organizing a team and running an offense. And I think especially as like a bench player for them, or she'll probably start as like kind of leading the offense off the bench, but could definitely find herself in a bigger role late in the season for the Storm if they're making a playoff push or in the postseason. Because yeah, Seattle's looking to compete, and yeah, she's like a player that's going to bring a lot of poise and good decision making to a team. Then for the final pick of the 15th round or the first round, Cody McMahon of Ole Miss is the next prospect projected to go here. Obviously, her career didn't end the way she wanted, fouling out against Minnesota. There's some concerns with her inability to score outside of the paint, but still a terrific athlete, extremely physical when she drives. So, like, she's somebody who can get to the free throw line at will. And I mean, it's the last pick in the first round.
A team with the size to literally develop that. So,
right. And like that's, I mean, when you can be physical, get to the line, you'll be all right in the game of basketball. She's got great work ethic and competitive spirit, as you can see out there. And then we're not going to give an in-depth breakdown of everyone here, but just what a second round draft would look like. The Storm would then go and take Jania Barker from Ford from Tennessee. Portland's going to go ahead and draft Marta Suarez from TCU. Our next projected pick, Connecticut Sun, take Sarah Williams from UConn. You've got the Mystics selecting Maggie Dugan from Richmond. The Sparks, who we didn't see anything from in the first round, this would be their first pick of the draft, would draft Tony Morgan, is who they're projected. Guard from Kentucky. The Sky at pick 21 are projected to go Shea Suzuki from guard from Indiana. The Tempo at 22 would take the 6th UCLA player we've seen, Angela Dulick.
Dugalik.
Forward from UCLA. The Valkyries projected to take an international prospect forward out of Germany, Frieda Bjorner. And then we've got the Sparks back at it again with pick 24, projected to take Dariana Littlepage Bugs forward from Baylor, Beaver. At 25, our projected Justine Pissott from Vanderbilt. You've got Toronto going for Peyton Verrilhurst from guard from Oklahoma at pick 26. The Mercury, another team we didn't see in the first round, are projected to take Saffron Shields, a guard from Australia, so another international prospect there. The Dream at 28 would take a shot at Kara Dunn, guard from USC. The Aces, another team we didn't see in the first round, would finally get to take a pick at number 29. They're projected Ashlyn Jackson, guard out of Duke. And then you've got Washington Mystics with their 5th pick of the draft, going for Reagan Beers, center from Oklahoma. So that's going to do it for our coverage of the Women's Final Four National Championship. Gave you a little look ahead to what you can expect next from women's hoops. We're going to go ahead and take a very quick music break. When we come back, we're going to go ahead and dive into the men's Final Four and National Championship.
Right.
Your boy HG pulling in $160 thanks to those Michigan Wolverines. Stay tuned. You're watching Till the Final Whistle. This is March, Season 2 finale.
I came from the cave with a mic in hand. Drops down.
Been a little crazy, and I haven't had much time. Crazy, it gets me the more you are on my mind. Thought of you and the things you do got me spinning. Never thought I'd find someone who sees things the way I do. Never thought I'd find this love till I ran into you. Filled the hole in my soul, got me spinning. Got me spinning around and round. My feet are nowhere near the ground, and I'm spinning, yeah. I'm spinning. Time passes slowly when we're 1,000 miles apart, and the hours turn to days, getting aching in my heart. In my mind, I see a memory, and I'm spinning. I'll be home tomorrow. We got a lot of catching up to do. I wanna see your pretty face and draw my arms around you. Hold you tight all through the night and do some spinning. Got me spinning around and round. My feet are nowhere near the ground, and I'm spinning. I'm spinning. I'm spinning. I'm spinning, I'm spinning, yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm spinning, yeah. Don't you know that I'm spinning,
The station where our veterans' voices are heard. MBR Talk.
Hey, thanks for supporting our channel by watching and listening.
Find us on the web at mbradio.us.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, you are looking live at Till the Final Whistle. This is the finale, everyone. It's a very sad day. That's the end of March Madness. Last night capped things off as we got Michigan. And they made some big shots there down the stretch. UConn had a lot of chances. We'll get into that game here in a moment. But they had some chances to stay in this game, but man, good damage control by their it's Dusty May. Yeah, it's Dusty May getting his first national championship with him in his second season.
Incredible run and what he did with this team. But we got some Final Four matchups to talk about first. And I do want to give Illinois, their flowers, man. They had a really incredible tournament as well. They just ran into a really experienced and good UConn team in the Final Four. Also, I mean, there was some like witchcraft voodoo on the rims though that Dan Hurley
got some friendly bounces.
Yeah, they're like some of the Illinois misses in that game were just like I was just beside myself. I'm like, how does that roll off?
Heartbreaking misses.
Yeah.
Yes.
Some that didn't even seem like possible that shot wouldn't go down, but
it was a really good game though. This one was close. It was a battle the whole time. Really just UConn came out and their identity is always to play as hard as the other team. They're going to match you no matter what. And it's always all five starters out there that are going to bring that energy for them. They set the tempo really early in this game.
I think, Illinois shot uncharacteristically they were cold from three. I mean, that was that ended up playing the big role in this one. I mean, a game that you lose by 9 points, and it's just like a team that has been so good offensively all year, and like part of that has just been their ability to shoot the three ball. Going 6 of 26 in this one was a little shocking from them, and then overall they just were a bit more inefficient. But I think like all that, like UConn definitely controlled the tempo of this game more, and that hurt the Illini's offense because it, like UConn's like they loved using the whole shot clock and just passing it around, really slowing down and looking for the right shot. And then just like being able to get back in on defense. And then again, like I said, I think also just sometimes you just got to be lucky in these games, and luck was not on Illinois' side. Like there were just some you got to just like go just look up some of the crazy misses that Illinois had in this one. Where it's like good shot, and it's just like the way these like the ball rolls around on the rim and comes off, it didn't seem real at some points.
Happens that way for a lot of teams, and that's why there's always that controversy of like those March Madness, the basketballs are always pumped up way too high, and no one can dribble. There's a lot of turnovers. No one can dribble the ball. There's a lot of missed shots because it just rims out like that. But there is some luck that goes into everything, and even when they were getting their best shots, they just weren't able to hit. They couldn't knock them down. It was really, like you said, uncharacteristically bad 3-point shooting night. I at least expected a few more of those to fall because they were finding the open look. UConn's defense definitely was giving you some trouble there, but like this was some tough misses there for them. And that doesn't really help your momentum at all. Seeing those type of misses, that's like just kills your morale on the team.
I do feel like after this game, somebody who's solidified themselves as a top 5 pick, Keaton Walker, man. This kid, fantastic, dude. I mean, he looks like he's a freshman in high school, but like the entire tournament was just so much poise for a freshman. The moment never felt like it was too big for him. He led his team in scoring, 20 points, 8 rebounds, 2 assists in this one as well. It was a little cold from 3, but like the whole team was. But besides that, like his shot making was really good in this one. And I mean, he was trying to get some threes to go to try to give his team a spark. I also thought he played really good on defense here, though. Who was it? Oh yeah, Keelan Boswell. He really struggled, man. That was felt like they might have needed some more from him. And I think big thing for Illinois, not a lot of ball movement. Only 3 assists as a team.
It was a lot of one-on-one, and a lot of their plays were kind of disrupted. So it did come down to, maybe they made the pass and they just weren't able to get the shot off in time for it to actually, count as an assist, because they were kind of getting swarmed on that end. Yeah. Kind of crazy that they were able to keep it that close, because they weren't shooting very well at all.
Yeah, now UConn really was forcing them to. It was like it's going to be a one-on-one match. You got to beat, you got to beat us off the dribble or create your own shot. It's not going to be anything easy.
They use their elite shot making ability that they have all over Illinois' roster against them. It was kind of the game plan of, you guys have done this all tournament on one guy, kind of making big shots and being one-on-one scorers in those big moments. Let's just make that big moment be every single possession for you. Let's see if he can do that every single time on us. Just whoever has the ball is probably going to be the last person to touch it in that possession. That's just how locked down tight they were on defense. Dan Hurley's so freaking smart, dude.
He's a really good coach. Braylon Mullins, another freshman that played really well in this game, and he had 15 points, knocked down 4 3-pointers for the Huskies. And then Terrace Reed, man, just continued to. I got to apologize to him because I really sold him short after how he played in the Big East performance. And I really sold UConn short after how they looked in that championship game against St. John's. But he's been a beast all tournament. He was really great in this one again, 17 and 11. And his defensive impact couldn't be understated as well. Pulling down a lot of big boards for his team. And yeah, UConn was able to, despite a really cold shooting night from Alex Caravan, they just, slowed this game down and drug Illinois into the mud. And when you have a fast-paced, explosive team like that, that's not really where they want to be. But they got the good coaches. They force they get their team to force other teams to play in ways that they aren't comfortable. That's exactly what Hurley did. Great season though from the Illini. Like we said at the beginning of this tournament, I was like, they're my favorites. They're my favorite 3. They were my favorite 3 seed, and they played like the best 3 seed in the tournament. Honestly, probably could have been a 2 seed all the way to the Final Four. Brad Underwood's got a good system there, so
we're locked up. We gotta go on break, guys.
Yeah, I noticed. Right, it's right back up now. I don't know what happened.
We did freeze, but we're back.
It's back up.
H. So, yeah, this cameraman, let's play games with us.
Okay.
But that was the
A lot
UConn
of tabs
game.
open over there.
The Michigan Arizona matchup in the Final Four. I think shocked a lot of people with just how dominant Michigan was in this one. And I like the defensive game plan here from Dusty May. Was really daring Arizona to shoot a lot of threes. This is a team that, I mean, with like, what would you say their average like 3-point attempts per game were? Like 7, something
8
like
or
that.
9.
Yeah,
8
like
or 9 a game.
They
Maybe
really
even
didn't
less.
take a lot of threes. They love to like score inside and in the mid range, and yeah, Michigan was just packed in tight. It was not letting that happen. And yeah, they 91 points were in firm control for a lot of this game without their best player out there for a lot of it. Axel Lindenberg stepped on, I think it was Mo Krivos's ankle and or foot when he was driving, twisted his ankle and just wasn't.
They rolled his ankle pretty bad.
Yeah.
And he was out for the rest of it. They still did fine. It was kind of the big thing that Duke had against people, the size on the wing. They had more. They were kind of went underrated in the tournament on how big they are when it came to just defending in the paint and in the mid range. They're pretty much able to just close off everything. And there's not really any lanes to go to when somebody's that big and they're that athletic to move with you laterally like that. Like Braden Burry is a very explosive guy, but about a quarter of the size of those dudes. So like 2 of his steps is the same as about 1 of Yaxel's going down on the baseline. They're going to be able to close that off. He's not going to be able to get any passes over top to Krivos or Owaka is too tall to pass it over him like they had in previous games. And if it was really just if they were a little bit more evenly matched, Arizona probably could have brought it to them. And this probably would have been a closer game. But Michigan just got the dudes.
Yeah.
They got the dudes.
This was that, like, no doubt the best team in the country. I think they proved that throughout the tournament. They did a fantastic job of recruiting. Like, it's just, yeah, like you said, the ability to have all that size and still be athletic enough to defend the wing, it just makes it so difficult to score anywhere on this team. Like, even when their offense is cold, like the defense was just so good in this one. And then I think it was really impressive. Like Adiyat Mara had in a career game, 26 points, 9 rebounds.
He's really the biggest one.
Yeah, he had a couple
That's
of
their
really
biggest
nice
guy.
Assists as well. Like he was only 3, but he was kind of diming it out, and
he
2
got
blocked shots.
He got no love all year. That's really like their center.
That, I mean, you got a guy like him. He's 7'3", just anchoring the paint. And then, I mean, you still have like a Morez Johnson 6'11", Yaxel's like 6'9", 6'10". Hell, even like Burnett's like 6'5", and like Cadeau I think is 6'3". So like it's a forest out there on the floor. I loved Elliot Cadeau's playmaking in this one. He was all over he was not really efficient shooting the ball, 5 of 17, but 10 assists in this one. And he hit some pretty big threes, which is good. And then I thought Trey McKinney off the bench, though, 4 of 6 from deep, scored 16 points overall. He was a huge spark plug. And even like Roddy Gale gave some great effort plays, hit a couple of big shots as well. in this one.
Like Arizona's defense is pretty good on the perimeter. Like Jaden Bradley and Karchenkov will make it tough for you out there because they made it a little tough for Cadeau to really get his playmaking going, which probably would have made this one a lot bigger of a margin. They were able to stay in it, like with his getting some mistakes out of him. But if they were just taller, and their defense, I think, really could have matched up.
Yeah.
With them. This really should have been the national championship game right here. I wish Arizona just had like one more big man in the rotation, and it probably would have been a little bit different of a game, at least closer. It at least wouldn't have been such a blowout, like win or lose.
I think if Arizona just didn't like, there was a run really in the first quarter where this kind of got away from Arizona, and I think if they had been able to, like, it was a, what was it, like a 16-0? It was like
It was before he got hurt. It was like they went up by like 15 points.
Yeah, like
and then
if that run doesn't happen, I think this game's a lot closer. But that was that sort of forced Arizona, I think, to play a different, to have to play offense in a way that they didn't want to. Play a little faster and take a few more threes than they wanted to, and it didn't give them as much time to work in their offense, and
it was kind of good just to rattle them.
Yeah,
because it was so early in the first half. Like you still have so much time that you really do have to get set. You probably shouldn't be rushing to get buckets until it's late in the second half of the game. They got rattled after that run. They weren't really able to get out of it.
All right.
So they got away from their main bread and butter plays. And it's what they do best all season long. They got away from it.
This was also just another game where it was like they didn't feel like they had a ton of ball movement when they were on offense. It was a lot of like guys like trying to get to their spot on the floor and then getting, either turned away and kicking it out, and then somebody else would try to drive in and get to a good shot. Like only 5 assists in this one for the Wildcats. So, yeah, Michigan just did a really great job of, again, like dictating the tempo and the pace of the game. And I was like, "What we've been preaching it all tournament, man. Like you got to make another team play at the game that they're not comfortable playing, and that's a great recipe for success, and that's what Michigan's been doing for a lot of this tournament." Then we got to the national championship, and this was 2 really good coaches.
UConn didn't get rattled though.
Yeah,
and they weren't able to get that last push there at the end that they needed when those 2 missed free throws happened, when it was 63-67. 2 missed free throws. Reed gets the rebound. You're coming down with 40-something seconds left on the clock, and they rushed a up and under layup that just forced them to foul again. So they weren't able to get turnovers on the trap. It was a great coaching job from Dusty May in this one.
Michigan was not very good offensively, but they played phenomenal defense in this one.
It was just a defensive game all around.
Yeah, they blocked 6 shots, 27 defensive rebounds, 39 overall. Like they were really good. I mean, what was making me nervous is like the games that Michigan lost this year, they shot horribly from three, and they were not shooting good from three. They were 2 of 15 in this game, but they held on, and I think when the offense wasn't playing great, they were getting good contributions defensively, forcing missed shots and things like that, and then they just started using like their size and strength and just getting themselves to the line. I mean, it's a lot of beef kind of coming downhill at you sometimes. It's hard to not foul. And yeah, ended up taking 28 free throws in this game, which was big for them. I thought Morez Johnson, man, he was great on those offensive putbacks. He had like 3 just huge ones where came flying in and just shot clock's coming down. They had a tough shot that they had to get up, and he came in and nobody boxed out. You can't let a guy, 6'10" guy like that get back to the rack and put that ball back. So he was.
Yeah, UConn needed all 5 guys every possession to be going after the rebound to win the rebound battle in this one. They really had to. They needed all 5 guys to box out their man perfectly to get the board, or else it was going to be like a dead scramble for the ball. And even if it gets tied up, it's just possession arrow to the whichever team had it. So it'll just be time for Michigan to get set if it gets like that, and everyone's scrambling for the loose ball after nobody can grab a rebound, which happened a few times coming down late where UConn was able to come up with it, but they just couldn't score down that last little bit of the game. They had that big shot from solo ball to make it 63-67 off the glass.
That big shot
was huge. They just couldn't follow it up with anything. They were just rushing shots. They got defensive stops down the end where it was like, all right, UConn just needs to get a stop. They would grab a defensive rebound, and they weren't able to get anything going in transition. Even when they were turning the ball over, and Michigan late in the second half still hadn't scored a single point off of a turnover from UConn. Because that's how hard a defense UConn was playing. Even when they turned the ball over, everyone got back. No transition points were allowed for Michigan. Like Michigan was clearly the best team, but UConn was clearly the best fighter, best fighting chance to take them out.
Dan Hurley, I think he said at halftime, like he was like, we got to just continue to try to keep this game, slow pace and try to give ourselves like good shots and don't let them impose their will on us, and then we might be the only way we have a shot. So like I think he was even saying like, yeah, like this is like a real, like there's really like only one way you can play to have a shot to beat this team, and in a way he was kind of right.
Yeah,
they had to really try to play out on the perimeter, and man, there was just something off with that rim on the left side of the floor. Or like if where I'm sitting and looking, it would be to the left of me. I don't know, like in relation to the stadium, what end of the arena it was at, but yeah, like Michigan was something like I think they were 0 of 8, 0 of 9 in the first half when they were.
Yeah, they didn't make a single 3
and
in
then
the first half.
Like UConn like started like 0 of 9 before they hit, like I think they hit 2 down on that end, so they were like 2 of 11, something like that.
Yeah, no one was really making any threes in this in the first half. It was pretty low scoring. It was like 26-29 at halftime or something like that. It was a really close game. It was just all defense. We really saw the team with the best fighting chance. If anyone was going to be rocky in this one, you might have had to be UConn. I don't really think any team on the the bracket could have done this, hold them to under 70 points after they were the first team in history to score 90 points in 5 tournament games in a row in the same tournament.
That was like what he said. He's like, if we can hold them under 70, we got that gives us a shot to win. That was something else that Hurley said. So yeah, he almost had it, but I think like defensively, like the way they rose to the occasion and like just elevated. And it was like, it wasn't just like the big guys getting blocks. I mean, like you had, what was his name? Roddy Yale had 2 like huge blocks, and they just weren't like the effort. Like there was like a turnover or a missed shot, and like you'd think like, oh, UConn's got a transition, but the way they would just sprint down the floor and like, yeah, either deny shots or force a miss, or even if it was just fouling and making them earn it at the line, like it's like a physical foul trying to block the shot. And UConn was 75%, 12 of 6, but I think that was also something that just kind of got into the Huskies' head. It was just that mental element where it was like you were talking about the rush shots, and I think that was where why Michigan's defense was so good at a lot of the points this season. Is that like they're so big, but they're also like there's a lot of speed there too. And I think it just internally
forcing crazy shots.
Right. It speeds up your clock a little bit, and you feel like I have to
63 to 67, and there's like 30 seconds left in the game. And Caravan gets the ball wide open. He felt like he had to shoot it right away. He pulled up from pretty much the hash mark to shoot one of those late threes, and it went off front iron. It was way short because it was pretty much from the hash mark. I mean, he could shoot threes, but I mean, it's not like the deep range dead eye like that most people have. Like he's a pretty good set shot shooter for this team, but that's just not the look that they were really looking for right there. It was rushed. I feel like they had one more pass down to the corner too that would have got him a better 3 right there too. There's just so much speed on that defense and length that he just kind of felt like that was his only time to shoot it.
Yeah, it was.
So they kept getting the ball back. They somehow kept getting the ball back, only down 4 points. And they didn't really need a 3. So when they got that rebound on the missed free throws, they tried to get down and just get the quickest 2 that they could, and it ended up being just one of really forced layup up and under, because again, that athleticism and speed, he got beat to the baseline and had to snake around like a center in the paint to try to get that layup up. And then there was no one back on UConn to try and get the rebound. So it's just a giant guy easily contesting that and then easily grabbing the rebound with no box out or anything. But that's kind of what they were forced to put up.
It'll be interesting to see. I think like Yaxel, he's a senior, so he'll probably be a draft pick somewhere. He was really good. I believe Cadeau's a senior. I think Mara might be a junior, but there's a good shot. I mean, like
he still has eligibility.
He does still have eligibility.
Let's see this thing here. I had it up earlier.
So who knows like what they're gonna look like? But Dusty, man, I mean, like
here we go. Expected departures: Yaxel, Burnett, Gale, and Shetter. I mean, they pretty much keep everyone. Cadeau was a red shirt.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure he's a junior too. So I'm pretty sure his freshman year was 2 years ago in North Carolina when people were guarding him like he was freaking like he was Ben Simmons. They were just letting him shoot threes. Remember how cold he was in that tournament 2 years ago for North Carolina?
Oh yeah.
When Caleb Love decided to transfer, and it was the first year they had what's his name, Armando Bacot over there on North Carolina. Which a huge comeback for him too, because he was the most outstanding player in the national championship 2 years after no one was guarding him. and he made some clutch threes, some big shots, and big time plays in the
Oh,
championship
dude, he
game.
had such a tough and one where a solo ball just like ripped through his arms, and he like basically getting drugged down, like one-handed,
threw it up,
shovel it up in the air, and scored.
And if you didn't see it in the Final Four game when they had the Fab Five on the broadcast, that number 18 recruit in the country, they're picking up Brandon McCoy next year. So they're getting a 5-star point guard freshman next season to come and help out.
Dude,
so
Michigan might be I mean, if they keep Dusty May there, they might become like the one of the next great
first 5-star coming into town since he took over.
I mean, like, look at what he did, man. First of all, takes FAU to the Final Four back in was that 2023?
Yeah, the weirdest Final Four ever.
But he like inherits a Michigan team that was coming off an 8-24 season, and just 2 years later,
got him the
national champions. They looked like for a lot of the season the most dominant team. I mean, they had it was 15 plus games that they won by like 30 or more points. And you just look at what they did through the tournament.
5 games with 90 points.
5 games where they scored 90 or more. 101 against Howard, 95 against St. Louis, 90 against Alabama, 95 against Tennessee, and then 91 against Arizona. So, and yeah, I mean, the national championship was the closest of all those matchups. Either win by 21, 23, 13, 33, 18, and then 6. Just, yeah, unreal. And they've got a lot of, got a great coach, a lot of returning talent. Transfer portal. I mean, this will be a hot place to go in the transfer portal. Because I mean, it's like also I know like Michigan isn't like Ann Arbor maybe isn't necessarily known as like a travel destination, but it's a great college town. And then think about like, you know, when you're in your off season in your first semester, you got a still pretty good pretty fun football team to watch.
Yeah.
There's like a lot of tradition at that school. Yeah, we could be looking at the rise of one of the new kind of college basketball powerhouses.
Returning to their older days.
Yeah, like they were a powerhouse back in the day.
Like,
but it's been
20 years ago now. But
yeah, like late 80s,
back in the 90s when they had the Fab Five and everything. So it's been a while. I mean, it'll take some time for people to, you know, let these new rosters kind of top what that once was. But they're a very good team, man. There was really only one way to beat them, and no one was able to do it this year in this tournament.
Well, looking at our MBR community pool, our community bracket, look at that, number 1.
Got it.
Kind of crushed everybody. 138 points.
Got it.
And then we had this guy, Carter Sheets, I think is his name. Had 2 top 5 brackets. I'm happy finishing number 2. Caveman was right there at 5. It says Jimmy Covers, but then you see my name below that. I gave him all of my brackets because Jimmy forgot to make one. Some of the other guys, Brody. This is our buddy Chicken Little. Thomas was here. Upsets kind of bracket there. This was one of mine. Did all right. Had a lot of upsets on it though. There's a Caveman's upset, the Virginia run. I can't believe that got blown up in the second round.
Yeah, they didn't make it very far for me.
This one failed in the first round. Here was our one where we
pick. Oh man. Again, Gonzaga.
Didn't work out that well. UCLA, that's a fun one. This was when we picked it based off of college football teams instead of
Wasn't even close.
basketball teams. Nope, 39
Iowa
points.
got us most of those points.
And then, but the mascot brackets, there was a couple of people who did mascot brackets. There are 4 of them down here. Yeah, wow. Very good. That's when my mascots did the best because I was like, all right, I'm just going to say the Devils win each matchup. But let's go take a look at the community one here. We did really good in this one. I think the East, we might have had a perfect round one. Let's see. We had Duke, TCU, St. John's, Kansas, Louisville, Michigan. Oh, yeah.
No, we did not pick UCF. Good.
Yeah.
USF.
And then it looks like we also had a perfect round 2. Right? Because we got, let's see, Michigan State, UConn.
Oh, we picked Michigan State.
St. John's and Duke. No, but like we were right up to the Sweet 16. We had all of our teams. And then we just got the Elite 8 wrong in this one because we had Duke and Michigan State. But
and yeah, Duke moving on too.
Yeah, that killed us. Almost had our final. We're 3 of 4 on our final 4.
That. That's pretty dang good.
I live with that.
Pretty good.
Colin getting 3 out of the 4. Man, we were so like honestly, like Duke, a historic choke job. Like honestly, should have been 100%. Well, the South region, this was the one. Okay, we were all over the place in this one. We had Clemson winning.
Well, no one had Iowa beating Florida.
Yeah,
now, unless you live in freaking Iowa, there's no way.
Troy, we thought that was such a good sneaky upset. Then freaking, they got just belt in that one. So yeah, we were completely off in the that Elite 8 matchup. But down here, besides St. Mary's, really good VCU in Illinois, Houston, I mean Illinois going on and up to the Final 4. So we were really good over there. And then obviously we had Santa Clara. That was another one that I'm like, I cannot believe we're so close on that one, but just the craziness of March came back and burned us there.
That was just they let that one slip there. If that last sequence doesn't go so fast, you probably aren't even in overtime in that game.
State, we had them going to the Elite 8. Man, I feel like Joshua Jefferson getting hurt really killed them. Tennessee, they had a pretty good run. I can't believe I did not see them going to the Elite 8. We had picked the Akron upset. Damn, we had Akron going on the Cinderella run. That's right. Didn't happen there, but and then obviously Michigan was our winner that we picked. So all the way through and through. Not too bad in the Midwest region. Then we have the West over here. Yeah, we went Purdue, took Missouri. Didn't get that upset right. It was nobody saw Texas, man. That was crazy.
Yeah, I didn't see that coming from them.
The Sweet 16.
And I kind of saw maybe one of those 11 seeds beat BYU. They were a little bit ranked too high. They kind of got the benefit of this region. Yeah. I didn't think they were going that far.
So, yeah, overall, though, I got to say I'm pretty happy with how the
that's the most points in any of the brackets right there. That means somebody else, there's other regions on people brackets that got really screwed.
Yeah, I'm like wondering like what
if I didn't pick Virginia.
I mean, obviously some of these are also just like
my Final 4. I think I got 2 out of 4 on the Final 4 at Arizona, UConn, Houston or something in the Final 4, and Virginia. Well, Virginia screwed me because I lost a bunch of points picking Virginia.
Oh yeah, that'll I'll get you.
I mean, I
let's
had
see.
it had that bracket pretty solid. That region.
You
over
were
there.
you were in first place for a while too. I think just
There's a lot of like the weird upsets that I wasn't able to pick, and then I didn't really care for Purdue enough to have them beat Gonzaga in that one.
I
that
feel like
predicted.
nobody got the Sweet 16 matchup over here, right? Like I don't. There like I bet like there was hardly anybody that had Iowa, Nebraska. That is what I feel like messed up a lot of people. I certainly didn't have that. Cannot believe the run Iowa went on.
Well, after Iowa won, there was no there
After
wasn't
they
any
took out
perfect.
Florida, yeah.
There was no perfect brackets left. Because I don't know how many I saw that had Florida going to the end, especially a lot of like the TV experts on those first few days of the tournament when there were so many games happening and they were all breaking down their brackets. Like there's a lot of people with Florida going pretty far.
All right. Well, we took a look at a mock draft for WNBA. Do you want to, with our final 20-ish here, take a look at the mock draft for the NBA?
Yeah, because a lot of guys really skyrocketed themselves up into turning them into lottery picks. I mean,
Man.
Koa Pete, Braden Burries, those two freshmen, and like you said,
Wagler really jumped up.
Probably DeBonsa.
I think DeBonsa solidified himself as the number one.
Darius Acuff.
Obviously, we don't know how the draft lottery is going to shake out, but this is a mock draft from SB Nation. Ricky O'Donnell wrote this at 6 a.m. Mountain Time today. So I think he's just going with best odds, it looks like, for where they're going to pick. So pick number 1, Wizards are projected to be there. They go and take Cam Boozer, which I guess kind of makes sense in a way for them, because I don't know if they necessarily need. I don't know, man. That's kind of strange, actually. I feel like you take DeBonsa there, right? Because you have Anthony Davis is willing to play power forward. Alex Sarr would play center. Then you could have DeBonsa be your 3.
Yeah. It seems like that would just be the.
Unless they think like Anthony Davis would play.
Boozer would be the 3.
Yeah. I feel like he would be better as a power forward.
He is like 6'9". So it might be that kind of thing where in the NBA he is more of a 3, but in college he is able to, outsize a little bit more guys at the 4 in college. And it may just be like a little bit of a step down. They might just run a big lineup. But I think it would help a lot more with their scoring if they got a guy like just a bucket like DeBonsa, if they had the number 1 pick. Because you got Trae Young, the assist guy, who's going to dish it and really be able to, be a 3-level scorer and your passer and playmaker. Go get a guy you can develop into a bucket, be a scorer.
And I will say the thing with Boozer could go number 1 just because he has, while Acuff and DeBonsa and Peterson have the highest ceilings, he's got the highest floor. Like Boozer's gonna be like the
projected.
Like he's
good.
He's strong. He's physical. He's got a great post bag, a great feel for the game. He's a really solid playmaker as a forward. So
I think he's a better fit on Indiana. Cameron Boozer.
Well, then here's where this guy's losing me, because at 2 he's got Peterson going, and unless the idea is Peterson plays shooting guard.
Well, I think that would
probably be where he plays.
But it would just be a lot of development, because is he going to be ready to switch into that role of you're going to have healthy Tyrese Halliburton, And I'm sorry, but that offense is not it's gonna work at its best if he's got the ball in his hands first. And if he can get his moments to create shots and be okay with that, then that's gonna be fine. But
I just think
he's not gonna be that primary ball handler.
I just think Diabonsa would fit better in with like if you're thinking, oh, Halliburton's healthy, a guy like Diabonsa who's to go in that front court of because he'd obviously play small forward then for Indiana. You'd have Siakam and Zubox and Diabonsa. Like that's just an insane front court with Halliburton facilitating. I guess Peterson would also be good there as like a 3-point shooter.
Well,
but
he's also on Indiana. He's like he would just be like the traditional NBA shooting guard that we've seen for a long time. If he meshes well in that offense, which would be a pretty solid fit. I mean, that level is 3 level, like just shooting from the mid range and 3 playing off of Tyrese Halliburton's playmaking would be nice. But that's one that's not a guarantee on if you actually get that or not. You got to develop him.
I feel like the Bonsa I think he'd be still a slightly better fit because what's his name for the Indiana? Was it Nemhard?
Andrew Nemhard.
He was kind of already playing that shooting guard role.
That's why I feel like you got a guy that's already okay with that role. You won't have to develop Darren Peterson. Andrew Nemhard's young.
Yeah. Like I just think like you still wouldn't really have like a great small forward if you take Peterson, whereas like take the Bonsa, who's a good 3-point shooter, but he loves to drive to the basket and score there. He's a really good rebounder, and I think he still has some work to do as a defender, but he's just got so much athleticism and length that he can still be really positive upside defender for you.
They also have Aaron Neesmith, so he's kind of their 3-man defender. That physical guy at the 3 they have at the wing.
And I guess it's a good problem to have because like either guy, I think it's not like a wrong decision there. I think I just would favor the Bonsa in that rotation a little bit more than Peterson. But then they'd have Bonsa going to the Nets, which I mean,
oh Jesus,
that would just be
whoever goes to the Nets, just know that they're probably either
their careers they're gonna score a lot of points. Because it's just going to be like them and MPJ against the world. Brooklyn, I don't. Well, it'll either be AJ or Darren going to Brooklyn if that's where they end up picking at. But
like, how are you gonna be so freaking terrible and you don't even have like any assets?
The top 3 pick, and I'm like, I have
a top 3 pick, and there's no future still.
I honestly kind of hope the Nets to end up outside the top 3. I don't want any of those 3 with all of their potential to have to go to Brooklyn because that just is like
what is that?
Oh, they're going to probably lose Claxton too. So like I think that's just like a really bad that's just a really bad fit.
It's going to be rough
for whoever goes there. There's just not going to that roster is going to still just be so incomplete. This isn't going to move the needle. Then it would be the Jazz projected to get Caleb Wilson, which he could kind of run as a wing, small forward /
They need his length actually. That would be good.
Yeah,
because he is definitely he's a really good shooter.
Because Laurie's been playing center for them more than anything, right? Even though, like, kind of like,
well, they have
they also got Triple J.
They got Triple J, and who's the other freaking? They got another big white dude,
Al Filipowski,
and one other guy. They got one other guy that's their center because Lowry's the power forward.
Yeah,
who the freak is that dude? Oh my gosh. I gotta just check now. I'm blanking on his name, but they do have a center. They got a good rotation of bigs, honestly. they could use that level of length and defense on the wing from him. So he could be like Nikhil Alexander Walker, be like a Jaden Daniels for this team. That's kind of what they need. They desperately need some length. No, I know they got a freaking center.
The Kings would be the 5th pick on this mock, and it'd be another freshman getting drafted in Darius Acuff, which I like that. Like, I mean, they could just
Walker Kessler, but he's injured. They have Walker Kessler was their big.
Yeah, I think like he would be like Wilson. I could see almost being like a Kevin Durant-esque type of wing, where it's like you also don't like he's
not worried about him.
Just like I mean,
you
like
trust him with that shot.
Yeah, like and also like as the sense of like a playmaker, like you give like Katie the ball, like you can type of guy where you can trust to like either like create a shot or make a good decision, and like an ISO type situation. So I like that for Utah. I also like Acuff for the Kings because they could just really use like an explosive type of guard.
Oh yeah.
Somebody to kind of, I mean, after they traded away De'Aaron Fox, they just really haven't gotten anything good.
The
out
Jazz
of there.
Picking up Wilson will also clear up a lot of their cap because Cody Williams is like a very similar build, just get Wilson bigger, a little bit more defined. Cody Williams still really skinny. Bryce Sensabaugh is really kind of a shooting guard player, so it does kind of make you got some assets to work with now over here to make a deal. Ace Bailey isn't really that like ball handling build and like playmaker that Wilson could be. Yeah. So it's going to add some competition on this roster. People are going to actually be,
if they do end
they're
up
be working for their jobs now.
If they do end up with Wilson, I think the Jazz are they legit got a shot to be a pretty competitive team. I'll give them that. Then the Hawks, I would really like this. They're projected Keaton Wagler. They have the Pelicans pick, so they at number 6 is where
pair
they're
them up.
at.
Two pretty scoring wings there. You get them with Jalen Johnson.
Yeah,
that'd be good.
And like Wagler's kind of just a big guard. Like he's a guard with like small forward size, but like he can. I think like he could be a guy that runs the offense. I definitely. I mean, you still got like CJ McCollum there, so he can play more of a shooting guard role and just be like an oversized shooting guard.
Yeah, no picks are really bad here. Yeah, no. If Acuff is there, that would be good for him.
Back class, dude.
Yeah, if Acuff was there, he would be pretty solid for him. I want to see if they have any more first-round picks because I know the Hawks have this first-round pick because of the Pelicans. The Pelicans are missing out on a first-round pick this year because they wanted Derek Queen so bad. Like Derek Queen, but this draft class is insane. Why would you not keep your pick for this class, especially after watching this tournament? They got to be sick.
Number 7 is another freshman too, Kingston Flemings.
Oh, they got to be sick. The Pelicans are pissed.
I mean, like I like Derek Queen. He's nice, but man, there's a lot of talent here. Pair him up with John Morant, or potentially he could be John Morant's replacement as they look to move on. Yeah. Maybe in like trade Jaw. I think like he could either pair up nicely with them, or he's a great defender. Like obviously playing with Kelvin Sampson, really good defender. And yeah, like when he's on as a shooter, like he is really great. He can score like at anywhere on the floor. Really crafty getting to the basket.
All the crap that last year's draft class got, and the Pelicans still wanted to have 2 picks in the first round in that class, and the Nets, however many first round picks they had, 5 first round picks in a weak draft class. Don't you wish you had 5 first round picks this year?
Dude, you
could have been like the Mystics.
Draft a new team.
They could have been like the Mystics.
All right. Well, number 8, and it's another freshman projected to go, Michael Brown at Louisville. Michael Brown Jr. to the Mavericks. I like that. Could you especially I think if Kyrie's healthy, that's him coming in as Kyrie's backup, I could see.
Yeah.
Which would be I'd love to have Michael Brown run in the offense for me off the bench while Kyrie is out there with Cooper Flag on the floor. That would be that would be a sick pick for them. Or he could even
help out some depth.
Yeah.
And he probably would be good enough to work in some lineups where he does start a few games in his first season.
Most definitely. We're gonna go a little quicker here just to kind of get through
the rest of the lottery at least.
Yeah. So with the Bulls they're projected Adai Mara, Michigan. That would be our first non-freshman drafted. They definitely they need size. They don't have really a true center anymore. So and then he'd be more of the traditional center. But he's a fairly good passer. He's just not he's not gonna be able to play out on the perimeter like some of these more modern centers do. It's not really much of a shooter, but yeah, he's 7'3". He's going to be a good rebounder and really hard to score on. So the Bucks are projected to take Braden Burries. Burries and Giannis would be an interesting combination. If Giannis is still there, we don't know what's going on with him, and that relationship is solely, but
it's certainly something to keep an eye on.
Bucks definitely need some guard help though.
They could really use that ability from him.
This would be a sneaky one, man. Yaxel Lindenberg to the Warriors.
That would actually be pretty helpful for them. And it seems like they're going to be picking pretty high in this draft and actually, want to see the full potential of the player. So I don't know. This won't be another Jonathan Kuminga situation.
No.
They got to be worried about the future now that Curry is climbing up there in age and everything.
Lindenberg could be a guy too that you could start to build a team around after Curry's gone. He's just incredibly talented. That he does a lot of things well. I think he's a fairly good defender. He'll probably need some work defending in the NBA, but I think just his size and athleticism will help him make up the difference until he refines that a little bit more.
It's different. He's taller than some people, obviously in college, but in the NBA, majority of the guys at your position are going to be the same height or taller. So it's going to be a different challenge. But I think I agree with you. He could probably be what they build off of.
So the Blazers projected Nate Amon from Tennessee, a wing player there. That's another freshman. Then we have our first this is how strong the college class is. This is our first player, not non-college player. I think this is a foreign guy from NZ Breakers, so maybe the New Zealand Breakers. Kareem Lopez, just says born 2007. So 19.
Wow.
That would be to the Miami Heat. Then the Grizzlies have another first-round pick that they got from the Magic. They are projected Shaden Quintance, forward / center from Kentucky. And then the Thunder have a clip via the Clippers at 15. They would projected to go get Haynes Steinbach, a forward / center from Washington. That's another freshman.
We kept him out of the lottery.
Yeah.
Almost. Keep winning, Clippers.
Then the Hornets at 16 would be projected Morez Johnson. You've got the Raptors at 17, projected LeBaron Philon, which I like as they could probably use some more depth at the guard position. The Thunder.
Future guard right there.
Then the Thunder, because they also have the Sixers pick for some
what is going on? How did they have this many picks?
Could draft Braylon Mullins. Dude, there's got to be an investigation. Why are teams just keep giving the Thunder draft picks? What the hell? Was this part? No, this isn't even part of the Paul George thing. How did they get the 70s? How did the Sixers give them Jared McCain and they somehow have a first round pick for them? Tampering. There's got to be tampering. I don't care.
It's the 76ers have like four good players. Then other than that, there's nobody.
The Hornets at 19 again via the Suns could go get Bennett Sturtz. And then rounded off the Spurs at 20, get a little bit of center depth out there for Wemby and draft Patrick Ngongba, the sophomore center out of Duke. Some other interesting notable ones before we sign off here. Thomas Hawk to the Pistons.
Okay.
Mo Krivos. Potentially the 76ers. Dylan Swain to the Lakers. The Knicks get Tyler Tanner. Our Denver Nuggets take Alan Graves out of Santa Clara. Joshua Jefferson to the Timberwolves. Koa Pete to the Cavaliers.
Ooh. That would be so much fun.
Harris Reed to the Mavericks and out round one. But it is noon. We have reached the end of our show and the season finale of This Is March Season 2. Thank you all for joining us for another season of tournament action. We had a lot of fun.
It felt like last year we did more episodes.
It was the same amount of weeks.
It was the same amount of weeks. So I don't know.
It just flew by. It was a really great tournament.
Quick.
Maybe that's why. It was definitely better. I think a little bit better than last year. We'll be back tomorrow for our normal sports episode. Until then, everyone, thanks for listening.
Life is like a duck. Tough times don't last, but tough people do. Here at Military Broadcast Radio, we're teaming up with our friends at Die Tired, the veteran-friendly music band spreading strength, resilience, and mental health awareness one shirt at a time.
And check this out. Their brand new shirts feature broadcast beaker right on the breast pocket. A reminder that you can weather the storm, and you're never alone.
Shirts are only $25, and proceeds support giving veterans a voice. MBR's mission to teach veterans how to podcast and videocast. Because when our vets are talking, they're not overthinking. They're not second-guessing. Together, we stop the 22 stigma. Grab your shirt today at mbradio.us and hit the shop. Or go directly to toramerch.printavo.com/merch/dietiredband. That's toramerch.printavo.com/merch/dietiredband.
Suit up, stand strong.
Remember, we're unduckable together.
You're built tougher than the storm.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to Military Broadcast Radio. As we wrap up today's show, we want to remind you that the podcast of today's episode will be available right after we go off the air. So if you missed any part of the show or want to listen again, be sure to check it out. And remember, we're here to support and honor our veterans. Your stories and experiences matter, and we are committed to giving you a platform to share them. That's right. We're here to give our veterans a voice. So don't forget to catch the podcast and stay connected with us. Giving our veterans a voice.